What's up? Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am here in the middle of nowhere in the desert, somewhere between Colorado and Utah. But welcome to Season 2, Episode 27. My name is Cort, and welcome to my weekly webcast. Today is Failure Part 2. It's a continuation of last week's lesson, and I'm going to dive into two major blessings that come from our failures. I challenge each of you to watch this material because it will help you throughout your life, both personally and professionally. The first major blessing that comes from failure and that we're going to cover is creativity enhancement. Failure often forces us to think outside the box, fostering innovative solutions and creative problem solving. I'm grateful for the time that I spent homeless as a child, because it taught me how to be resourceful and creative and problem solve. It was hard not to get discouraged when I didn't feel loved, but I refused to be the victim and made the best of my circumstances. Here's what I've learned the hard way. Failure is inevitable. It is part of the process. Failure needs to be embraced rather than try to be avoided. The most creative person wins in life's many compromises, and most creative person typically wins in business. Artistic people succeed in business every day. Art and innovation, to me, are first cousins. Innovation is basically taking a concept and bringing it to life where it has value in the marketplace. It's one of the single hardest things to accomplish in business. I'm going to share a story that illustrates that perfectly. We know a lot about the history of Henry Ford because he kept journals and he wrote everything down, which I'm also a big fan of if you know me. But at approximately 4 a.m. on June 4th, 1896, in the shed behind his home on Bagley Avenue in Detroit, Henry Ford unveiled the quadricycle, the first automobile he had ever designed or drove. But this did not come easy for him. Ford realized he had some flexibility at work as long as everything was working right. Ford was working as the chief engineer for the main plant of the Edison Illuminating Company, on call at all hours to ensure the city of Detroit had electrical service 24 hours a day. His obsession with the gasoline engine had begun when he saw an article on the subject in a November 1895 issue of the American Machinist magazine. Just 7 months later, and after many setbacks, Ford was finally ready to test drive his creation. Can you imagine? This quadricycle was basically a light metal frame fitted with 4 bicycle wheels and powered by a 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower gasoline engine. The quadricycle had 2 driving speeds, no reverse, no brakes, rudimentary steering ability, and a doorbell button as a horn, and it could reach roughly 20 miles an hour. When Ford and James Bishop, who was his chief assistant, attempted to wheel the finished quadricycle out of Ford's shed, they discovered they had a problem. The quadricycle was too wide to fit out the door. Failure? No chance. To solve the problem, Ford took an axe to the brick wall of his shed, smashing it to make space for the vehicle to be rolled out. That's resourcefulness. When his assistant Bishop, he sent his assistant Bishop ahead on his bicycle to alert passing carriages and pedestrians. Ford drove the 500-pound quadricycle down Detroit's Grand River Avenue, circling around 3 major thoroughfares. Aside from one breakdown on Washington Boulevard due to a faulty spring, the drive was a success and Ford was on his way to becoming one of the most formidable success stories in American business history. I encourage and teach my team to harness their own inner artist and innovator and to try to be thinking of innovations 24/7. I value creativity in life, and I really value creativity in business. Most people that relate to mental health, based on my own experience, are usually highly artistic people. This means that if you can succeed at mental health, whether that's getting clean and sober, maybe making it through a divorce, whatever mental health looks like to you. If you can succeed at that, you can succeed in the business world. We all have an inner artist, a voice, an innovative resource that we can only access with extreme humility, knowing that failure is part of the process. The second blessing that failure gives us is humility development. Success can lead to arrogance, and often does, while failure helps cultivate humility, reminding us that there's always more to learn. I've been humbled by my experiences with failure specifically, and while failure helps cultivate humility, it reminds us that there's always more to learn. But I don't allow myself to get down or discouraged. Discouragement stops dreams before they ever get started. Stay positive, cultivate your humility, and avoid ego at all costs. As soon as you attach your ego, you're dead in business. There's nothing more predictable than the human ego. Avoid it, deflate it, do whatever you need to do in order to rid yourself of ego. That's today's weekly Wednesday message from the middle of nowhere. I'm actually at a rest area. I thought, hey, I'll pull over here. This will make a good weekly Wednesday message. And I didn't anticipate the wind. So hopefully this the sound came through clear. If it didn't, I'll make another copy. But happy Wednesday, you guys. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday and give those that are close to you a little extra squeeze and hug and realize how precious life is. I'll see you guys next Wednesday, okay? Bye-bye.